If you've watched a Nigerian film in the cinemas or on Netflix in the past 2 years, there's a good chance you've seen a film directed by Kayode Kasum. One look at his filmography and it will seem he's Nigeria's busiest director. And did you watch Unbroken or Riona? Kayode directed over 10,000 hours of those shows. His films have been screened and have won awards in various festivals around the world: Canada, France, Serbia, Kenya, Italy, United Kingdom, and Nigeria. Some of my favorites among his films are Oga Bolaji, Kambili, and This Lady Called Life. Having seen these films, I was super curious to learn about his first ever feature film, Dognapped. What will you learn from our conversation? A whole lot. Hi again, Kayode. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Hi, Korede Aziz. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Yeah, awesome. So I was thinking I think it was a month ago or two that sometime I just have to get on a call with you and just talk with you. Because I've been following your work for, I'm not sure how long now. Years get jumbled up in my mind. But the first film that you did that I heard about was Oga Bolaji. And then I saw the film, I'm like, okay, who is this guy? And then you start churning out movies like every quarter of the year. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty interesting. I want to be like how I did when I grew up, But I'm gonna take you back, like way back to your origin story. I'm really curious about what that
Before we
is.
go way back to the origin story,
Yeah.
I also want to say that I've been a big fan of your work. Like I just saw a beautiful lady with hijab taking pictures on Instagram. I'm like, who is this person? And I think somewhere in your profile on Instagram, you put you're a writer or some a photographer. Yes, I'm like, oh, okay, this person is my field. What's up? And a few months later, I see that you're making your first feature film. So it's really super proud of you. I'm a fan from afar. And then again, you cast the actor that as your lead. That was also a lead in my first film, Dognapped. Yes, we just talked about Tedela, so I guess we have something in common there.
Oh, okay. I think you are mixing it up. I'm not the director of Cake.
Okay, I missed it. I'm mixing it up then.
Yes, you are.
So which one is yours?
Mine is It Blooms in June.
It Blooms in June. Who are the actors on your film?
Femi Jacobs, Susan Pwajok.
Yes, I'm mixing everybody's films up because I know I'm very close to her and I know she's on the slate too. So I'm mixing those films up right now. I apologize for that.
That's fine. But it's nice to hear that you're my fan from afar. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, man.
So your origin story.
Boom. I'm just going to try to do it in 2 minutes because I feel like I've said it in almost every interview I've done. So I'm just going to run through it. Origin story is went to film school in Lagos, then started working for Wale Adenuga Productions as an editor. I said I wanted more. I'm hungry. Then I tried to get some skills in motion graphics design and 3D. Started work as head animator for a cable company. Then I went into advertising, and I guess that's when the key. That's when I woke up to say that I think I want to start telling stories for reals. I think I can take the step. Most of the things that I learned from advertising, I tried to implement them into telling stories. That was just my background because I think as a creator, your background always factors into the type of art that you create. And I just don't mean where you're from, it's the type of work that you do, your influences, the music that you listen to, the people that inspire you, your friends that you keep. So your background always tries to factor into the art that you create. At that time, my background was advertising. And yes, I tried to shoot the film like an ad, which was Dognapped. Then that didn't work out. We learned a lot, A for effort. Mm-hmm. And my second feature film, which you talked about as how you noticed my work or watched my first work. And that was Oga Bolaji. And yeah. Okay. Then from Oga Bolaji, I started, that's okay, Abby. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, so it sounded like you are reading your CV to me. but when I say origin story, yeah. Okay, for me, me, for instance, as a kid, yeah, watching like TV and films and stuff, for some reason, I would always imagine what was going on behind the scenes. But then the funny thing was, I never got the idea, that I could be a filmmaker until, I don't know, like a few years ago. So I'm really curious whether there were like any clues or any seeds, like when you were a kid that pointed
Yes.
you, in this direction.
As a kid, yes, thank you. As a kid, I always wanted to act. I always wanted to be an actor. So it's something that I used to say, and I'll tell my mom, I'll tell my dad, and just when your kids say they want to do this, and you just let them say what they want to say. Then I would just get lost in front of movies. At that time, I guess it was people were renting movies to watch.
Mm-hmm. What kind of movies do you watch?
Lots of Yoruba films, man. Lots of Ayamatanga. Yes, Domitila, lots of Nigerian classics. Then my father was a big fan of Nkemo.
Wow.
My father watched Sophia, Spanner, Trouble, Mr. Trouble. He watched all the series and I watched them too. So my introduction into like this art space was through Nollywood. Then as I will begin to enjoy the process of films, because it was, I think back then when your family will always visit, people always come and visit my dad. My dad was the only son. So when women gather now, what else do they want to do?
What's your...
Yeah, I want to watch a tape that my mom has borrowed. I was going to rent, either from the neighbor or from the video club.
Yeah.
Then so anytime you sit down and
back memories, man. Good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then every time, what will happen? Whenever just sit down, they're watching. I'll just sit down in the middle. Sit down close to my mom, and just absorb all those beautiful content.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's how it started from.
Yeah. So I was listening to another podcast that you were on, and you talked about how you had made like lots of crappy short films, including one where you shot at like ISO 6400. And then I went online to try and find some of your short films, and I couldn't find anyone to watch. But then I'm curious.
They're still there.
Really?
They're still there on my YouTube page, actually. Please, I don't want to tell you where to go to start that.
I'm going to dig deeper.
I made my first short film in PFT. I was so eager to create something so crappy. But yes, I was so eager to create something. So I made it titled Run. I didn't even know what I was saying. But I think it was the early stages of me finding my voice, of at least of how I wanted to tell my story.
What year was that?
It's going to be probably going to be like, I don't know. I'll check when I uploaded it, but maybe 8, 9, 10 years ago.
That was a long time. Wow. I mean, compared to you, I'm like a baby in the industry. My first short film was 2019.
Mad. How was it?
My first short film?
How was it? Yes.
So I was actually lucky that I had a more experienced team with me. I mean, my cinematographer, my writer, they had done a couple of stuff. My cinematographer had been to film school, so I ended up not making absolute rubbish. So the film it's actually okay. It's okay. Yeah. Now on to Dognapped. Why a talking dog? What was going on in your mind when you came up with that idea?
I think most of what was going on in my mind still happens sometimes with me. I get excited about, I guess, creative, just like trying to solve a problem. So when I get excited about a new journey, a new creative journey. So that was the first time I guess I was just developing my skills, and I guess I'm still learning. So I just got excited of the fact that I could shoot a Nollywood film that will have a talking dog. And that was just the only thing in my head that was just exciting me about it. At that time, I had not learned a lot about storytelling and more of the creative process to make a film. But just the pure excitement of executing that project, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking of anything else. I just stepped into a world I knew nothing about, and I was just pure joy of just to create art was just the only thing that was pushing me, and we made Dognapped.
And I think that is the same mental space that a lot of first-time directors find themselves in, especially when they are going out to make their first feature film. So I want us to dig deeper into that space, and pull out the lessons from that. So you wrote that story with Omo Ojewa. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that name correctly, but I'm curious about what that collaboration was like. How did you work together? Was it that you wrote a first draft and he wrote a second draft, or how did that work out?
I think it was more of, I just kind of wrote what I wanted, how I felt, like how I saw the story. I just wrote like maybe like a 6-7 page of what I thought I wanted the story to be like. And Omo had written Omo was suggested by Temilola Adebayo, the producer. She really enjoyed working with him on the previous project, and I read the project. We both liked his writing, and just like every director will meet a writer now and explain, or a producer will meet a writer and explain the idea of what they thought their story was. So Moss had his interpretation, wrote it, and so I kind of took the script he wrote, and we both collaborated and finished it together.
How long did the entire writing process take?
The entirety of that process, I think, took 3 weeks. Now,
wow.
knowing what I know now, I know that was very wrong.
3 weeks. Wow. I'm thinking, okay, I can get a first draft done in 3 weeks, definitely, but I wouldn't bet on the quality of a film that I would write in 3 weeks. I would be so terrified. Anyway,
I mean, right now, knowing what like I said, it's just pure excitement. I just wanted to create something. Knowing what I know now, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? But yeah, I think for my own journey, there's been a lot of experiential knowledge along the way.
Awesome. So how long did it take from writing to shooting, like the pre-production process? Did you do much pre-production to start with?
Yeah, we did, because it was a film that was shot with 2.5 million naira. And it was supposed to be like a big, the scale when you say, oh, you're shooting about with a talking dog, you don't expect it to be 2.5 million. So I think it can take a process of 3 to 4 months of everyone just trying to put the funds together, and also just trying to get the process right, getting the actors, casting, locations, equipment, and deals. It took quite a while to put that together. Took like 6 months, 6 to 4 months for us to kick off after the script. Yeah.
So your pre-production process between then and now, in fact, let's talk more about what you do personally to prepare as a director. I mean, at that time, were you thinking about doing like treatments or maybe short list and stuff?
Is longer, because just one example would be Darius' film that I'm producing now, Ileowo. And I think we had the idea for the film exactly a year from now. And just as that 3 weeks ago, from a year from now, 2 weeks ago, we just had 2 weeks ago, we just had like the 10th draft. And we're looking at the 10th draft again, and people's notes are coming in, because now I have gone from what I did with Dognapped to have a structure for my stories now, which is not just really just started from solid. It's I'm having a structure for my stories where the story kind of has to go through different stages. So after a writer has written like the 4th draft and we agree on the story, we do something like a script conference when we bring like 4 to 3 writers together. And we just tell them, pack the story. I know writers now, they're so excited to find something that is wrong in this story.
Yeah.
And Ileo has gone through all that. And I remember Dari, I'm telling Dari, I think this is one final addition and notes. And Dari is like, Hardy, nothing anybody's going to say this time. That's the final script. And that's what I want to shoot. And I'm like, okay, let's go. Yeah. So yeah. Looking at where I started, as I say, my journey has been more experiential, even in the business and in telling stories.
I
So
mean,
there's been growth.
yeah, I mean, what you're describing right now, the rigor. I wonder how many other filmmakers would even be patient enough to go through, a process like this.
So me, I've shot some bad films and I've also shot some good films. So I've gotten praises and I've gotten backlashes. So yeah, yeah, in the short amount of time that I've used to do this thing, which is I'll say 2 years.
Yeah.
In those 2 years, I've learned a lot, and I'm also passionate about the art form. So it's not like I sit down and I learn only from my films. I watch, study everything: Nigerian films, past and present, foreign film, every single course that is available to my disposal. I do not play with it at all. So I'm learning as we go. I'm learning. Even I'm a sponge. So anytime I work with creatives, like as I'm talking to you now, I've learned a couple of things just from talking to you. You get?
Interesting.
Like the beginning, yeah, seriously, the beginning of our interview, you talked about tell me about yourself. So I always talk about how I got into film, and you said no, the origin, and that was beautiful. So I've learned that now. If I go to another interview, I would start that way. So I'm a sponge. I'm always learning.
That's amazing because I was actually going to ask like what is your process? How do you learn? Like how do you grab filmmaking knowledge? Do you read a lot more about filmmaking? Do you watch films? What kind of films do you watch? Do you study specific directors? Do you study film movement? What does film education look like for you?
So for me, it's what I do. It's what I breathe film. I'm passionate about it. But the process for me is I see a project that I like, then I kind of narrow down the great films that is like similar to what the script that I want to do can do.
Mm-hmm.
So great stories that are similar to what I'm trying to do. So from there, I block out 2 weeks. I just go silent, and I'm watching those films, and I watch all those films, and I get a couple of stuff. I try to look for BTS. Strictly, what I'm looking for in BTS is not how it was shot or how it was executed. I'm looking for just the thought process of the director, because I feel like every film has a structure, and the structure starts from the storyteller. What am I trying to say? Yeah. So when I find how the directors are interpreting that to their shots and their angles, which is research of watching all these films, that helps me to create a structure of how I want to interpret the script. That's one. Secondly, I like colors. So next step for me is I kind of identify the type of colors I want to use in the film.
What informs like your decision or about what colors you want to use in the film? Is it maybe what other filmmakers have done in their own films or something else?
Yeah, sometimes for me it's two things. Yes, what other filmmakers have done. Sometimes it's I kind of use colors to kind of code my characters. Like so for instance in Sugar Rush, you see Bimbo Ademoye, she's the bubbly one, pink. Yeah. This one was kind of like indifferent. She's lukewarm. She has the crazy side of her sisters, and she's also the voice of reason. So she was kind of calm in her colors. And we put yellow on Sola Yola because she was kind of like the bubbly one. So kind of yes. So it's kind of what most times what those colors represent. Also, I love yellow. Love yellow so much that shot a film titled Love is Yellow. So most times yellow kind of represents myself in the films that I make. For instance, Oga Bolaji. You notice Oga Bolaji was mostly wearing the yellow Ankara native, yes. Which is what's more like saying this is me. He's kind of had a bit. I had to, in creating that character, I was like, okay, I was scared of going into films. I just asked myself, and if I'm scared, I would like to face my fear. Yeah. And my fear of if I failed in film was going to be a 40-year-old man that still lives with his mother. Wow. Yes. So that was Oga Bolaji, and that's why he was wearing yellow. So sometimes those colors, It's either a representation of myself in the film or just what those colors kind of mean to me personally and what those colors just stand for in terms of in making art.
Yeah, I mean, this is one thing that we definitely have in common because for my first short film, I also color coded my character. You know, color played a really huge role for me, and in my feature film as well. I mean, I remember thinking about my treatment right now. The characters were color coded. I mean, the set design as well. I was very particular about the use of color in even specific parts of, in specific acts, you know, of the film and showing how the characters progress and everything. So yeah, I just thought it was interesting that we share that in common. And then that brings me back. That brings me back to something else that you said, you know, about the you working constantly and you having learned a lot by, you know, working constantly and making so many films. How else do you think that working on so many films affects you and your work? Is it all positive?
No, I don't lie to myself at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will make a film and like, dude, oh, shit, I can't watch that film. I made a mistake. So, yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. So it's been good, and yes, it's been bad. If I could, I was talking to a friend today, and I said, "Yo, just because of I'm trying to produce a couple of projects this year, and these are projects we've been working on. Most of everything has gone through the process of a year, and we are close to execution on these scripts, and we're still working on them." So there was one time there was a tweet that I think she was just kind of giving advice. It's just that the advice wasn't just given in a certain type of way about shooting plenty films. You get and sitting down where I am now. Yeah, if I kind of see that I did rush in creating some of those work that I did. It's not that I regret it because if I'll still do them again because at that time I was an artist. I was trying to build something and I needed funds. And if you are trying to get funds, you have to do the work, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yes, that's what I did. Now, standing where I am, I do understand that I should have at least taken a breather. But all that work did imbibe something inside me, a principle of, and I guess even just the working, I formed the working principle and just always believing in the story and trying my best with everything that I have to tell the best story that I can. And that has made me stronger. And every film I have I've learned a lot of things on every single film that I've made. And all those films made me who I am today. So no regrets there. But no regrets there. But knowing what I know now, if I could go back, yes, maybe say no to a couple of stuff.
Well, at the end of the day, most important thing is there's growth. Lots of growth. So yeah. Now I'm curious about, let's go back to Dognapped. The whole live action animation thing. I mean, had you done anything like that before you got on that project, or was it the first time you were playing with, you know, anything like that? Talking dog.
Live action, yes, animation. It was the first time.
Okay.
Animation, no, because I was already dabbling in animation already. But for Dognapped, that was the first time. That's to show what kind of human being that I am. So brave.
Exactly. Like you are so confident you are going to pull it off, right?
Yeah, I know this is lame, and it's not because Mo said it, I'm saying it though. But seriously, honestly, if you think it, you can do it. And yeah, that's how I am, bro. Like I can't, so for instance, Darius feature film is a horror feature film. It's horror. And I'm going into it. I'm so comfortable. I'm so confident. Like I'm not always shaking or anything or being scared. And there are questions at the same time we have to face. Like as an horror film worked before, you get is this asking myself the question, is this going to cinema? But like I said, I've always believed in the story and that has never let me down. And I believe in the story. And so yes, which is what I'm so happy that films like For Maria, This Lady Called Life, and Oga Bolaji can do, even juju stories, films that is just, you get just pure story. We're not trying to.
And you know what I think? I feel like once a film has enough soul in it and enough truth in it, it's going to find its audience. That's what I think.
100%, man, 100%. You're right.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always believed in. And that's what I'm trying to do. So when back to Dognapped, once I just believe in the idea, everything, I just don't hear no. I don't hear laughters. I don't hear crickets or people whispering or murmuring. I just keep going. Once I just believe, that's what, if you believe in the story, like you said, if there's soul in the story, and if I can connect to it, man, I just jump in. At the end of the day, this is how I see films.
Yeah.
It's a journey. Making a film is a journey.
It is.
You have an idea of what you want to do, but when you step into the room, a lot can change.
Yes, I know.
Any single thing can change the trajectory of where you're going. So
I know.
you never really fully know what you're getting yourself into, but you just hope that all the preparation and the knowledge that you have gathered together on this journey will take you through. And that journey for me is always...
That's part of what makes it exciting.
Yeah, it's always exciting. So I like to do it over and over again.
So now that dog on Dognapped, what was that like working with a dog? Obviously, it had to be a trained dog.
Yes.
Or was it the same dog you used throughout, or you had like two?
No, it was just one dog though. And I just went to a website. I had a lot of dog trainers contacts listed, and the first person I called that said they had that breed of the dog said yes, he had trained the dog for 2 years. And I was like, wow, my luck. That the dog I'm looking, first person I called has the dog I'm looking for. And I still won't see the dog. I still see the dog to say hi. And the dog is trained. We tell the dog to stay in one place. It stays in one place. We record the footage of the head with the dog trying to be static, so we can get in terms of we can get what we need for the VFX. And when we do that, the dog just moves, and we knew what we wanted. The dog's in certain positions and on certain shots, and we got it.
And what was the most challenging part of all that, working with the dog?
The film Top Teller is scared of dogs, so the lead the dogs that should connect with the dog was scared of pets. He had trauma with dog biting his ass.
Wow.
So
wow. So how did you get him to get comfortable around the dog?
It was just there was always space. Now, if you watch the film, you'll notice that there was always like a space of like a few space between actor and the dog.
Well, he scratched the dog's head quite a few.
Yes, that scratch, man, was like maybe the 7th or the 9th take. It took everything in Tokwe for him to touch that dog.
Wow.
Like he was so bad to the point that Tokwe walked up to me on day one, was like, "Can you recast me?" I'm like, "Come on, dude. If you want to recast."
Wow. But anyway, it's good that he was able to do that though. Now I'm curious, are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Man. Let me answer it. I came into the industry timid, and I guess now I'm feeling a bit confident, and I'm raising my head up a bit because I just walked up. Anytime you see me, I walk into a room, my head down, extremely shy, but I'm working my way through that. So yes, came in introvert. Is that if there's a word for the middle of introvert and extrovert? Yes, that's where I am.
I see. Because I asked because, of course, directors have different personalities and stuff. And for some of us who are introverted, it can be a bit of a challenge. It can affect how we work with actors and crew. So I'm curious about how your personality affects, your work relationship with, actors and crew.
Man, Corey, you have really great questions. I think I still do it till now. I whisper. So if you see me on set, I'm always whispering into the actors' ears because I'm still, not as confident in terms of not in the work or doing the work or not. Yes, I'm still a shy person.
Yeah, I get that.
So usually very shy to speak that, and the whole room can hear my voice sometimes. So well, I've tried to make sure that does not affect my work. So I found a way to work around it. So sometimes if I want to block a scene, I'll probably talk to each actor individually, and I tell them, and they usually know what they want to do. Then, so that makes it more easier. You get to now be able to make each person hear my voice. You get, so I start to raise my voice up a bit so that they can hear, because now they all understand. They've all been briefed about what I'm saying, so it's not as terrifying for me to speak. So I do still get that. I think introverts, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So if an introvert is a director, I think you just have to find your way around the business and also around creating the art and interacting with the crew and cast.
The same thing you said about whispering, right? I did it quite a bit, and then a few times Femi will be like, I can't hear you, and then I have to come closer or speak louder or something, and it was just a bit weird, but it's fine. I think it's going to get better with time anyway. And then
definitely,
I think it helps when I can talk to the actors, like have extensive conversations before we ever get on sets. Do you ever do that? Does that help as well? Does that help you as well?
Yes, I do. Sometimes, the actors, just because of how the industry is structured, sometimes you meet some actors who don't want to even talk to you before the film. You keep calling them, oh, I'm busy. And it always just ends up that the first day you have a conversation with them about their characters, the first day on set. So people that are not filmmakers are listening, you see one of the wahala we go through.
Yes.
And I think that because I think a lot of people in our industry trust our gifts. We just trust that when we get to set, our gift will save us. You guess, and I feel like that's just the first layer of making films. I had to learn. To be honest, I'm guilty of this. And it's just that I've grown, like I told you now, I've learned it. Imagine what you can do when you've taken a lot of time to process the material and understand it and interpret it. What you're going to do is going to be just so fantastic than meeting the actor on set the first day and they're talking about.
I would rather over-plan, than to leave anything to chance. Like, I want to know exactly what it is I'm doing, and I want to have a plan B and a plan C. I know that, of course, when you get on set, things can change, and I'm flexible, no wahala. But at least I want to have like a solid plan for everything before I go in, because it's like war once you're on set.
Well, that's good too. I think I do that too. I always have a plan B, plan C. But it's not Hollywood. Anything can happen. Forget. Exactly. Forget.
Beyond your imagination.
I'm on a show that I think we've been working on the show for like 6 months now. And on this show, before it was my time to shoot the show, I was at home for 3 months. And this is me I always like work. I'm always jumping up from project to project. But because of this show, I was contractual to stay at home. Wow. And in that month, because of boredom, I just started working on the script and the material. And I planned like 5 different ways of shooting each scene. That's out of boredom. And I'm telling you that I'm on set now. And sometimes I use my notes because different circumstances change and your notes might not be the exact execution for whatever situation you find yourself in. So you always have to just, as long as you can connect with the characters and the material in a certain type of way, I feel like that's where your talent is always playing. But always prepare. Oh yes, preparation is good, but also prepare for the table because anything happens.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so back to Dognapped. You and Temilola Adebayo, I mean, you are credited as the executive producers. So I'm curious about how that worked. I'm guessing you funded the film personally.
Yeah, we both funded the film personally.
Yeah, okay. Was it like a 50-50 thing?
It's a 50-50 thing.
Oh, okay, fantastic. How much did you make back? Because I know you've said before that you didn't make all the money back, but how much did you make back?
We did make the money back with some extra change. I
Oh,
can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember the exact figures, but yeah, we did try.
yeah, that's good then. Was that where did most of the money come from, the revenue?
Mostly from cinema and streaming. I think we were on that TV and African Magic and Showmax, I think. Yeah. Yeah, mostly we've been on some terrestrial channels too.
Okay, cool. I think one of the questions that a lot of young filmmakers often have is how do you even take a film to cinema? Because sometimes cinema just feels so big, So for someone who wants to take their first project to cinema, what should they do?
Make First of all, cinema theatrical release is commercial. It has to be commercial. I know now this is where everything else comes. No, it has to be commercial because you're going to cinema to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know if you know how cinema works, like a certain share amount of percentage of your revenue will go to you, and the remaining will be shared between the cinema and the distributor, and cinema and distributors. So in order for you to make going to cinema make sense as a business person, because that's the only reason why you go to cinema, right? You don't go to cinema to look for fans. You go there to make money, right?
Yep.
And so I would advise that for filmmakers who want to do that, first try to make a commercial project, something you think that the general public will like. Pitch it. Sometimes you have to pitch it to production companies, but if you already have the story and you can make it, just approach a distributor. I think that not the distributors I do know of are Blue Pictures, Film One, and Genesis Distribution, and some other independent distribution companies. Yeah, approach them, and I don't think it's easier than you think. I don't think they turn people down. If they have a film that the distributors think would make money, they would jump on it instantly.
I see. It's all about business. I mean, creatives. I think we get into this space where we feel like it's all about the all about the creative juices and the brilliant idea that you have. We forget that there's a business side to this thing.
Yeah, because it would be nice to shoot a silent film in black and white. Yeah, but let's be honest, that cannot go to the cinema. Like, are you wasting people's time? Yeah. You forget that the distribution companies and the cinemas, people have to pay salaries. My brother, please take that black and white shit out of here. People are trying to look for money. You're coming your black and white silent film.
So, I mean, apart from the money that you had, what other resources did you have at your disposal to make that film? I mean, your people.
Having a team that's dedicated to the vision of what you're trying, whatever story you're trying to tell is very important, because for us to make a film at that amount, it meant that a lot of people are not paid. A lot of people are not paid the amount that they should have been paid. So it was more of a passion project for everybody.
Is that including actors?
Yeah, including actors, because nobody was really paid great. The film you get now, for you to make a great film, I think one of the main and important elements are the team of people and the creatives that come together. And if the creatives that are there, the whole team, if they are passionate about the project, those projects always succeed. For example, Omogeto, you could see that every single actor who was just so happy to work with Funke in creating that masterpiece. Wedding Party, Kayode, you see. Yeah, so it's really important that you have a team that's dedicated to what you're trying to do.
Now, I know that there's probably no film set that doesn't have one crazy story. Problems left, right, and center. What is the crazy story in Dognapped?
Maybe the dog did not want to act. We had to wait for the dog to calm down. But I've had lots of crazy stories on set too. But yeah, Dognapped, that was it.
That was what?
That was it. Let me tell you one crazy story. Sole, what happened in the story actually happened during the shoot. When we went for pickup on our road to Enugu, the story we're trying to tell of people being attacked on the road happened to the crew.
What?
The crew bus was attacked. Like they had a bike of guys with guns chasing after them.
Was that during the day or at night?
At night, imagine. Like, thank God that we overcame that.
How did you come out of that?
When the bus driver was like, he was really he was speeding fast with the bus, and the guys were coming towards us. I think they shot at the bus safe. They were coming towards the crew. I wasn't there, so they shot at the bus. The guys told me, but the bike guys stopped at a certain part of the road because they knew that the bus was getting close to a police checkpoint.
Man, thank God, though. Thank God for their lives. That's freaking scary. Hey, the things we do for this work.
Thank God, man. Thank God. Like, that was, yeah.
So what?
At the premiere of Sunday, I was just jumping up and down. I was just thanking God.
Ah,
like,
I can imagine. So, what would you say is your biggest lesson from making your first feature film, Dognapped?
Yes, I guess just knowing why you want to make a film.
Yeah.
I think that still sticks with me today because I kind of like, I've turned down a couple of scripts that I got recently just because I just felt like the reason why those films were being made, I could not connect to it. Yes, I couldn't resonate with the pains of the character because there was nothing close to me or anything that I understand. So just knowing why, I just knew that if I took that script, I would just be making it for noise purposes. Because just making it up because yes, it's another job, and I didn't think I wanted to make that type of film. Not because it was a bad film, but it just wasn't. I didn't think my voice was the right voice for it. So yeah, just knowing why you want to make a film is very important. I was watching Fowles and his show with Toke Makinwa. Do you know that show?
I know. Where they're like a married couple, have you?
Yeah. Yes. And I was watching the season 2 of it, and just you could see that they had intention, and there was an intention and the reason why they were doing what they were doing. And just because, it was also beautiful to watch. So I guess just knowing why, not just saying, "Oh, this is a job, let's do it." For lack of a better word, I think just like the way you said it, finding a soul of the script.
Yeah.
For Dognapped, I just wanted to make a film, but I had to learn that it's not just about execution. What are you trying to say?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you made Dognapped now, how much would you make in the cinema? This is a play question.
I don't know if I would do it now. If I did it now, I would do it for cinema. I would do it for a kid's show.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would do it for cinema. It would be like a kid's show. Like something for 10-year-olds and below. I don't think something like that will work in cinema now.
Yeah, okay. I totally get that. So, of course, you went from Dognapped to a much stronger sophomore, Oga Bolaji. But I think if I have the dates right, it was like 1 year between both projects, right?
Yeah, so I think when I met Jadu, she asked me, how does the director that make Dognapped make Oga Bolaji?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask. Like, what happened within that 1 year? What happened exactly?
I think my journey, if you look at all the films I've done over till now, you see that I'm learning something here, I'm trying something here. I'm having fun, to be honest. So you notice that there's something that's still here that I'm trying to do again here. I'm just trying to add another twist to it. I love making films, and I've been lucky, and thanks to the grace of God, to be able to do what I love and make a living out of it.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just having fun, but I'm very passionate about it. So I just keep trying to do everything I can to tell the best story. Yeah, so how does the director go from that? I'm learning, Okorede. I don't think I've figured it out, but I guess the version now is the most confident of all the versions, and I think I'm getting a hand of it. So I keep experimenting, I keep trying new things, and I keep learning. So that has been helped me to grow, and I think that growth showed from Dognapped, and then you will see the growth in Oga Bolaji.
Oh, getting a hang of it after almost 20 films, man.
I'm still, but I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I had this very long pause, and just because of what I'm working on now. But yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah.
You never stop learning. I think we learn till we are 90 or 100. So
Until you die.
who knows what I'll know when I'm 50. Amen.
Yeah, amen. So I know this question will probably be hard to answer. Maybe, I don't know. But of all the films you have made, which one is your favorite?
Can't answer that now. Come on. I said I can't answer that now. Come on.
I know, but try. Okay, give me your top three. Give me top three.
So I think Isioma Osade said something to me one time. She was like, I think your body of work just shows your journey as a filmmaker. Yeah. So, and when I look at my body of work, it's like a diary of the different headspace or where I was in my life at that time. So I cannot really say what I like. If I like the films, it's just where I was. So I would just say one would be Oga Bolaji, because at that time, I knew what I was trying to say. And I remember sitting in Dexy's car, which is the DOP. I didn't even have a car. So Dexy was driving me and we're checking out locations. And I was saying, Dexy, this is the film, man. This film is going to travel around the world. And this is Dexy that I just met that same day. So I knew what I was going to do and I did it. So yes, Oga Bolaji, I like that feeling. It's not the films now. I'm just talking about how I felt. I say Sugar Rush, number two, because I saw the film in my head, but I was just so scared. It was too big. You get so like I'm a realist. I was like, Carly, man, see where you're coming from, so I see what you want to do. You don't get, and I read the script, so I knew what the film was going to be, and I was intimidated of it. Like 3 days going to set, so I had to sit myself down and be like, dude, you've one thing is, thank God you've seen how the film wants to look like, yeah. And I'm like, yes, I see it. I never still. I'm like, oh yeah, just stand up and go and do it now. She chose you because she thinks you can do it, so do it.
Yeah.
And just that transformation of just being very timid and just going there and executing. I like that feeling. I really felt good at the premiere when the crowd clapped. Third film, I'm going to share it with this lady called Life. Just because of, it was the only film where that I wasn't panicking. A lot of things went south. Yeah. A lot of things did. It was supposed to be a big wedding at the end of it. And it's not, we ran out of money, but not even just that. We had a planner and they were planning the wedding, right in front of the parents' house. And the actors were walking off because it was late. They were walking off. And I was not scared in any way. And Bisola Yola, love Bisola so much. She was like, the actors are, she was panicking. I said, Bisola, we already made a great film. Like, let's just say the vows. The vows is what we need. And we'll be good.
Yeah.
And for once, I didn't panic about that film. I went to when it went on to cinema, to streaming. I already knew that I wanted to make a good film and I was confident.
Yeah.
It's the only set that I was not shaking. I didn't raise my voice. I just did the job and left.
I think it's amazing.
And the final one.
Yeah. Sorry, I think it's amazing how, regardless of how much chaos is on set, a lot of times it doesn't show like in the final product.
Yeah. Oh my God, we are magicians. We do a lot of great work. Kudos to every filmmaker ever in the whole world.
Yes. So yeah, the final one.
Sole, just because we were attacked. And nothing happened.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that list. Okay, to wrap this up, we're going to do a rapid fire round. So I'm going to say a word and you say the first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready?
Okay, I'll try to go.
All right. Superhero.
Clark Kent.
Cinema.
Cinema. Adam's Family.
Netflix.
Netflix. Gone.
Best movie ever.
Whoa, Nollywood or Hollywood?
You're not saying the first one that comes to your mind. It doesn't matter, anyone.
Okay, best film ever. Shawshank Redemption.
Good one. Popcorn.
Sugar.
TV or film?
Ted Lasso.
What? Oh, Ted Lasso.
Lasso.
Okay. Best screenplay?
A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Kayode. I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope you did too.
I feel like this is part of the podcast where you can plug your film. Tell us about your film.
Oh, me. Oh, okay. So It Blooms in June is actually a teenage romance / family drama thing. I remember when, because the way they randomly paired the directors to stories, right? And then they did like this spin a wheel thing. So I remember looking at the wheel and it stopped at It Blooms in June, and in my head alarm bells were going off because I was like, man, this sounds like romance, and I didn't want to touch romance. I don't know why, but yeah. So it's basically about this.
So you don't like romance films?
What?
You don't like romance? You have a thing with romance instead of romance?
I'm not a big fan. Like, it's not my first genre. It's not my first genre.
How did you now handle it?
So the thing is, I can actually relate with like the character in terms of there's this arc, with her and her dad, so that was the one thing that I could relate to in that story. So I decided that, okay, this was the angle I was going to look at it from. So I developed my own like dramatic arguments, like basically my why, for telling the story. So I was able to just create that connection between myself and the story. So it was now more about this character's growth, from this point to this point, than about, the love and everything. I mean, the romance thing is still there and stuff, but, yeah, if that makes sense.
I like that. I think just following the character sometimes, I think you had a really nice approach to that.
Yeah.
It's really nice one.
Yeah.
I think that was one word I had in mind in terms of, for me, for Kambili. Because I wasn't really a guy, and I was supposed to direct this female-led story. So the only way I could connect to her was just what she was going through. I think at the same time, myself and Kambili were kind of in the same place. So that was how I connected it. Yeah. Good luck. I think and your actors are Femi Jacob.
Yeah, Femi Jacobs, Kiki, Susan Pajok, Kem Ajay.
Good luck. Please invite
you.
me if there's ever going to be a screening, and if not, I will catch it whenever it comes out.
I'll invite you to the screening. Thank you so much again, Kayode, for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Have a lovely evening. Bye.
Bye.
I know you enjoyed my conversation with Kayode Kasum as much as I did. Let us know what you found most interesting about this episode. Tweet at us or send us a DM. My Twitter handle is at @IamKorede, that is I am KORAYDOY, and Kayode's is at KCAS, that is KAYKAAS. My Instagram handle is at Korede and Kayode's is at Kayode Kasum. Thank you for listening, and before you go, please take a screenshot of this podcast, share on your Instagram stories, share the link to Twitter, share with your friends and family who are filmmakers or aspiring filmmakers as well. It'll also do us a huge favor if you rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening app. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. We hope to see you soon on Instagram. Our handle is at The African Filmmaker. Until the next episode. Toodles!